Good evening, everypony, and welcome to Commentario's Magic's stream on tonight, Sunday, June 24th, 2018. I am, as always, Grandpaws. Emperor Bugle is on vacation.
Big Cheese.
Arquette, and featuring special patron guest.
Cursed Chords.
Hey, Cursed.
It's almost not special. I've been here so many times.
It's special every time you're here, Cursed.
Sure, just take the words right out of my mouth. Just straight through the heart, Grandpaws.
Much love. It is always good to have you here, though.
Mm-hmm.
I hope your travels have, all the madness surrounding those has ceased and you can at least relax this Sunday evening with us.
Yeah, this Sunday evening is going to be good. And anybody who read my article last Friday got at least a taste of how my weekend had gone so far, but that's really a story for another day.
I read it, and even I was getting aggravated. And I didn't have to go through the airport.
Ouch.
Nonetheless, it was great of you to join us this evening, and also a lot of fun to have dueled you earlier, and we'll be getting to that here in a moment. But for now, we've got an activity that we enjoy doing with some degree of frequency. Ara, what are we up to this evening?
Let's see. We're up to taking patrons' decks and looking at them and seeing what we think about them, and in some cases improving them where we can.
That's right. It's time for our monthly patron stream to say thank you to all of those who have generously pledged their support on Patreon. We do appreciate that, of course. Tonight, I believe we have 2 separate patron decks to review, as well as our featured duel.
That is correct.
And in keeping with some of the excitement surrounding the Harmony format and the release of Heiko number 1, that is the Harmony Online constructed tournament that we are currently about to go into round 2 of, we'll be talking about Harmony quite a bit tonight, both for these patron decks, well, one of these patron decks, and for our featured duel.
That we will.
Because Harmony is clearly a flawlessly designed format that has no issues whatsoever.
It is absolutely perfect, and there is nothing wrong. And
Best.
Wait. The other thing.
Everything's terrible.
Yeah, that one.
That one, yeah.
Okay, maybe not terrible. Harmony does present a number of challenges, and we'll definitely talk about those here in a moment. The biggest one of which, just being the card pool is so much larger. How can you possibly make the best decisions when you've got over double the number of cards to work with, or close to double the number of cards?
I guess it is less than double now.
No, it's not. The older sets were larger.
Sorry, I mean double. Yeah. Wait, what? Or older sets are still larger?
Yep.
Oh yeah, because they were larger sets. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Plus, we've got Rock and Rave and Solstice.
Oh, that's true. Those extra promo sets.
Mm-hmm. So it's it will be for a little bit longer.
Did you know that we've had Twilight's new castle for longer than we've had the treehouse now?
She was better after she had wings.
I think it's exactly the opposite. But
you're allowed to be wrong. It's okay. Yeah, let's put up a Patreon vote for that one.
Oh, there you go.
See how many people we can get mad.
What, was Twilight better before she had wings?
Yeah.
We're just going to reenact that entire episode through patron polls?
Yeah, basically. I'm not sure how I feel about Fluttershy being assertive like this.
Cursed, would you care to cast your vote publicly and incite the madness?
I would say post Magical Mystery Cure, I prefer.
Terrible.
Story's gotta go on.
Doesn't mean you need to slap wings on everything.
Well, about that.
Spike was better before.
Spike was better before he had wings. Oh, Larson, even from beyond the grave, you've managed to do this.
All right, so hold on. I'm gonna go Photoshop a little pair of wings onto the cheese.
Oh, that would be great.
Oh, wow. That would be kind of amazing. Well, while Ara works on doing that, let's take a look at our first patron deck that was submitted by Animoy. So Animoy listed this deck as being a semi-competitive Harmony deck, and his comments were that this is his Heiko deck, so this is what he's currently competing with. His thoughts were that Skystar is going to give him 7 pink requirement right away for cards like PFF or Main 6. That Pinky's Epiphany can bring back Main 6 in a way, in
Did
that
you
he can
say
grab it from the
7
discard
pink
pile and
requirement?
replay it. Huh?
Did you say 7 pink requirement?
I did. Skystar is 3 plus 2 tokens.
Oh, plus, yeah, okay.
You know, those tokens, what have power and color and whatnot.
I thought they were just bait for belly flop.
I mean, you're not wrong. PFF can also find key friends in the deck. Minuet eats just about anything that would be lost to home limit, and he wanted problems that were harder for the opponent to confront. So this is clearly a control deck. And that's good, because control decks have a tendency to thrive in the Harmony format where games tend to run longer, and where there are more disruptive tools, like f-stop. Let's go down the initial checklist. Mr. Arakat, how many pieces of resource removal are in this deck?
Oh, let's count here. Let's see. So let me see. 1,
I count
2,
infinite.
3.
I count 3 pieces of resource removal. Now, we'll touch on whether or not those are the best choices for resource removal, but at the very least, you know that's an important thing you need.
Well, in one of those pieces of resource removal, you can kind of whistle up with 3 of the other cards. So.
Uh-huh.
And then repeatedly play with 3 of the other cards.
Indeed.
So yes, there's a great amount of resource removal that's present here, and the deck size is exactly 45 cards, and that's what you want to see for any constructed format as well, so that you have the maximum chance of drawing any single given card that you need. So baseline, out of the gate, it's looking good. Now let's see what's actually going on here. And there's a few things that come to mind. The first one of which is, this is clearly a deck that's trying to make as much use out of Starlight Glimmer Magic Instructor as possible. We can see this from a number of Unicorn friends that are here, including Rarity Soprano, Bodyguard, Trixie Rock Farmer as Orange Entry, and Minuet Schadenfreude as the Retire engine compared to, like, Soren, for instance. Whether or not this is something that is going to work out as well as you think, we'll touch on here in a moment. But we're looking to duplicate events to get as much value out of those as we can. But not all of these events are going to provide you with great utility being duplicated. The easiest ones that you can copy, Belly Flop, Special Beam Cannon, Magical Misfire, Party Hard, and Makeover, aren't really going to provide a whole lot. Of those, Belly Flop is the best option because you get to dismiss 2 friends, but you are losing 2 friends in the process. Special Beam Cannon, if your opponent has multiple resources out. Magical Misfire, I guess, cantrips itself. Party Hard, unfortunately, will have no effect because you only pay the additional cost to play it, retiring friends, meaning that the second one will not draw any cards and won't force your opponent to discard any cards.
So some of our newer players may not understand what cantrip means.
Ah, I'm sorry. Cheese, do you want to clarify what we mean when we say cantrip?
Replaces itself, so it just includes the draw card.
Right. There are a number of cards that exist in this game that cantrip themselves. A good example of this would be like Fernando. It's a resource that as it enters play, you draw a card. So the cheapest events are not necessarily the ones that are going to provide you with the best value for copying. I'm the Friend You Need is a nice choice in that it is a very valuable event, but there's a major hazard with playing it, and that is that it has 3 colors, none of which are provided by your main. That means that you've got to rely on getting either your one copy of Makeover, which you're having to use a gyro for instead of just gyroing the event that you want, or one of your 2 copies of Singing Barrels, in spite of this being a 4-color deck. So immediately looking at that, I would want to see the options for color fixing increased, likely bringing Singing Barrel up to 3. The other events that you have here, which are very impactful, Destiny Drain and Pinky's Epiphany, are very expensive. And that means that in order for you to copy their effects with Starlight Glimmer Magic Instructor, you need to have quite a few unicorns in play. With Bodyguard, this is easy enough, but if you don't have access to Bodyguard, your other unicorn friends are going to be limited and expensive. The cheapest one that you've got here is Rarity Soprano. Something a lot of people, including myself, forgot for a long time is that just because Gyro is purple and tutors up an event does not mean that he is a unicorn.
Yep.
He is an Earth Pony.
He's also not an alicorn. I heard that.
Gyro was better before he had wings.
But he is corny.
God. I heard myself laughing. Oh. You're awful.
I know. So this is one of the things to look at here. Starlight Glimmer Magic Instructor can provide a lot of value with a lot of these different events, but the actual AT that you would pour into setting up your board with unicorns so that you can copy that event is often more expensive than what you'd get by just replaying the event and bringing it back with f-stop. Good news is, you've got f-stop in here. That's a good point to be at for an event-based Harmony control deck. The other issue to look at here is that most of your powerful cards that you're running are going to be in colors outside of what your main is providing. Yes, Main 6 is a very good card in the core format, and Main 6 Party Hard is so disruptive that a lot of people are very tired of trying to deal with it, myself included. But Harmony works at a different pace. And a lot of times, trying to hold on to or tutor a card like Main 6 might have you investing too many resources to actually be controlling the board in the meantime, which is something you definitely need to do. Those are at least my initial thoughts. Cheese, Cursed, Aura, would you guys like to chime in?
I didn't even realize until you said that there was only one Main 6. That's, kind of pushing it there.
Yeah,
I understand the value. He can get it back. Pinky's Epiphany is a really interesting tool to be able to bring that back with, but that's also going to require getting Main 6 in the discard pile to begin with Schadenfreude. And there we're talking 8 AT plus another 3 to play Pinky's Epiphany.
Yeah, it's a little bit too expensive. I mean, it's not... You'd think that, like, oh, it's a purplish control deck. It's got AT acceleration. Well, except it doesn't.
That's right. There's no Paper Twilights here, and in spite of the fact that it does splash orange, there's also no Factory Jack.
Which I think is understandable given that it's running Skystar as the main, but...
Does this really have enough entry?
My thought is no. There are currently 3 pieces of entry for meaningful colors that are here. Seabreeze's Flower functions as resource removal and can get you into yellow, but there aren't actually any yellow cards. There's also 1 copy of Trading Traditions.
Yeah. Oh, there's no... Yeah. That's some greedy entry there.
That's pretty greedy, yeah. I mean, you are practically guaranteed that Skystar is going to be flipped, just because Skystar.
Yeah, the pink's not the problem.
But that means that you can pull out a Singing Barrel and you don't have to worry about, oh, is my main flipped or not?
Yeah.
Which is something that I will be touching on in the next one, but continue.
I think really what this deck is facing as far as an obstacle is that it's being torn between 2 different archetypes. You've got this pink-white kind of repeatable removal engine with some recursion going on there. And that obviously works very well with f-stop, very well with Soprano, Bodyguard, Belly Flop, Pinky's Epiphany. Those are all fine choices. And of course Main 6 Minuet with PFF to find it. That alone could be a deck by itself. And you could even run more aggressive problems than things like Awkward Quinceañera or Figuring Out Friendship if you wanted. On the other hand, you've got this event control strategy with Magical Misfire to disrupt opposing combo decks, I'm the Friend You Need to try to mill your opponent out or banish high-value threats, Magic Instructor to try to copy some of those, and Gyro to find it. That's a deck that almost certainly wants to be running Tempest as its main, so you can also get some Troublemaker control in there and be in your primary color.
That also gets you Factory Jack and Paper Twilight.
Both of which are excellent choices in Harmony to play the AT race. Now, while some of those cards can be shared between the two strategies, trying to mash both full decks together like this and then just trim out the excess leaves you with a deck that doesn't have a lot of entry. It's going to take a while and quite a bit of AT for you to get your most impactful tools online. And meanwhile, there's not, unfortunately, a lot you're doing to disrupt your opponent from whatever their game plan is. If I were to make a suggestion, it would be to pick a direction that you wanted to follow with this. Either go the main 6 route, run Skystar as your main, and try to focus primarily on pink and white for your control tools, splashing a little bit of orange for Party Hard. Or go the event recursion route. Run I'm the Friend You Need, switch over to Tempest, put in some AT accelerators, and just F-stop your way to victory.
F-stop your way to victory. A time-honored tradition.
How many years have we been doing that now?
4.
I don't know, how many sets later in Yellow Parasprite still wins games?
That's very true.
I was playing casual games today, and there were 3 Yellow Parasprites out on the field, and a miserable time was had by all. It was great.
Well, hopefully those tips can help you make some revisions when Heiko number 1 is done, and you can find some improved success in future revisions of the deck.
I suppose I should perhaps say something,
Go for it.
given that I am kind of the resident Magic Instructor enthusiast here. I believe I actually made a deck similar to this you guys reviewed in like February or something a while back, right?
I believe that's correct, yeah. I think you also wrote an article on it in the General's Notebook.
Yeah, the recursion article, that's right. And so I guess just like as my perspective, the core version of this deck that I've played does obviously use Starlight for recursion, because F-stop doesn't exist in core, thank God. And I found it to be like really fun in like a casual perspective. Belly flop is actually really good to repeat when you do have a bodyguard in play, basically, just because you actually only retire one friend because of the way the triggers work out. And actually, you still get a unicorn out the other side. But yeah, I think like certainly in that paradigm, the control route is really the way the deck goes, for what that's worth to say.
That's a good point. Yeah, I suppose that would be a third option if you really wanted to try to keep the Magic Instructor in there, but still have the Bodyguard synergy going on, which you probably do anyway, just because that makes a great number of unicorn tokens. You could just run pink, white, purple with that as your focus, and maybe drop the I'm the Friend You Need.
Yeah. I also kind of see like 3 misfires and think that like
That does seem a bit excessive, doesn't it?
Now,
Yeah.
I like seeing 3 misfires in there just because I know what I do in Harmony, and I know what other people do in Harmony as well.
Okay, all right.
And I respect someone for recognizing that and saying, no, I'm not putting up with these shenanigans.
But you have 3 gyros anyway.
Yeah, the gyros and like the f-stop there kind of pushes us over the edge of, I don't really think you need 3 of those.
Yeah, 2's probably fine, especially when you're also running 2 copies of Destiny Drain as well. Very spicy, by the way.
How spicy is that? So
I
spicy.
haven't really seen that played much in Harmony. I haven't been playing a lot of Harmony.
What, Destiny Drain?
Yeah.
I think Destiny Drain is a one-of in any toolbox control deck is a great choice.
I mean, yeah.
That's fair. You can Destiny or misfire their discard pile after you've milled them a bit, just to make sure that they aren't up to f-stop shenanigans. That's
I want to
fair.
see somebody misfire themselves so that they don't get hit by Destiny Drain.
I may have done that exactly once. I can't remember. Anyway, let's take a look at the second patron deck we have. Aura, take it away.
That's kind of spicy, though. I just have to admit.
Misfiring yourself?
You're gonna Destiny Drain me? No, I'm gonna misfire myself. I see you sitting there on those 3 AT.
It would be great if we had a stack that you could be like, oh look, I play Destiny Drain. Oh look, I play Misfire.
Would
And
be
then
terrible if we had a stack. It would wreck everything.
And then someone would be like, well, counterspell. And then you'd be sad. Anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on to our second patron submitted deck. This is Dorada Arcana's casual combo deck. It's a capper deck. So, to begin with, let's go down the checklist. How many resource removal cards does this deck have? I'm going to put you on the spot here, Grandpaws.
It has 3.
It does have 3. It's got,
and they're Big Mac.
Yep. And as long as you don't mind that it's going to take a little bit, that's perfectly fine. Let's see. Next up, it of course doesn't show how many cards it is, but this is in fact a 45 card deck. But let's look at the entry situation. It's obviously white-orange, with some purple splash. We've got a Trading Traditions, 3 Trixies, and 3 Singing Barrels. Now, the purple stuff is mostly late game, so I think
that...
yeah, but that's
not even counting white.
But that's in white. That's...
But it is capper, so...
That is fair,
You don't always want to flip early.
But... That is fair. And that's actually one of my larger problems with the entry situation here. This is capper. Capper doesn't like to flip early game. And what that means is that Trading Traditions... If you look at the Rex here, that doesn't help you unless Capper's flipped. There is nothing that you can play off of just one of 2 of any of your colors. So you are utterly reliant on getting Capper flipped and getting those entry friends.
That's a good point.
Or,
I think I'd probably prefer to see Infiltrating the Hive as the entry problem here.
Yeah, this is really a great case for infiltrating.
I'm not entirely sure this makes a ton of sense for infiltrating as far as the discard is concerned, but the entry aspect, absolutely.
Yeah, it's for the entry, but like getting the card, you can get the cards back too, I guess.
Right, that's the huge benefit, is you get the extra color off of generating the token, and then Capper's innate nature helps you get back whatever you discarded, so while you're spending AT to do it, it's not necessarily losing you card advantage like it normally does.
That's probably fair. It's also worth noting here that every single card in this deck has even power. So, as long as you've got 5 cards in your discard pile, when you flip Capper, you're getting 5 cards back. Every single time. There's a Tempest Shadow Easy as Pie there to get more shots out of Capper, even. And
then was to get more shots at Tempest.
Yeah. Didn't even spot that one.
And the madness continues.
And the madness does continue. But this is obviously a mill deck, as we can see by the Heart's Strongest Horses, the Spectacle, I'm the Friend You Need, and Sweetie Belle over there, looking adorable.
And terrifying.
Can be terrifying and adorable at the same time.
I guess.
That's Sweetie Belle.
Adorifying?
Yes. Most of this is largely event-based, other than Sweetie Belle, who is obviously just going to ready and cause some amount of problems every turn. So Capper tends to work well with this because you can get stuff back from the discard and just be like, okay, sweet. I'm going to mill you a few more times and make you discard a few more times. And then I'll flip them over and we're going to do it a couple more times, because hooray. On the entry situation, though, I think it is worth noting that if you don't go infiltrating the hive, there is another changeling, Kevin, who is probably not a traitor to the hive, that can help you out with all three of your entry situations, even. I don't know that it's worth replacing, say, the Singing Barrel with Kevin, but he's definitely a thing to consider.
I mean, is there any reason not to replace Trixie with Kevin, other than they lose color if they get frightened? Like, nothing here depends on unicorns.
No, that... You might be able to get away with that. Honestly, I think it depends a little bit on your playstyle and how you want to handle your opening few turns. If you want to go into white first, then sure, I could see replacing Trixie with Kevin just so you have another option for getting into white. In this deck, I might actually go the other way because there are much more interesting things in orange. I might replace Rarity. I realize this comes at the possibility of messing up your first few confronts, but let's face it, this is a combo deck. Let's see. Oh yes, in addition to Capper himself, there's obviously Princess Cadence Royal Envoy here, who is often featured in Trixie's apology to her. But here, there's no apology to her. There are instead two ways of getting counters onto her, or at least two obvious ways. Brotherly Love and Applejack's Hat. Brotherly Love is not something that I'd really want to get back unless I had no other options, because getting it back just means that I'm getting it back so I can make Cadence get something else back, and it's only useful as a way to hold on to the possibility of getting something back rather than use immediately, because you just get whatever the other thing you wanted back.
It's also worth noting that Brotherly Love is one of the few orange cards in here that cannot be met with just 2 power.
Yeah.
So just a Trixie alone is not going to be enough. I suppose Trixie and Trading Traditions would.
It would, yes. Applejack's Hat, however, I'm a lot more marginal on, because due to how this works, you are only going to get to have Cadence pull an event back once every 3 turns, because Applejack's Hat exhausts. Granted, it does move some power around, but this is a combo deck, not an aggro deck. And so I question if there's really any value coming out of the power movement, and would instead suggest running Highly Motivated, which lets you get back a card every 2 turns instead of every 3. I suppose there's something to moving power around and attempting an aggro strategy as well, but still, if your goal here is to recur events, let's recur events and focus on that as a primary goal.
Yeah. The other thing I notice is that several of your high-value cards here, specifically Spike, who is very necessary to make the song engine work, Limestone, who can be very good at shutting off the most disruptive opposing abilities and also gets you a strong body, and Rescue Party, who is just a house, are looking quite fragile. There's no means of protecting them here, either with event canceling or with Appaloosa, so something like a belly flop, a food fight, or even just an immediate speed frighten can really throw a wrench in your plans, especially considering, once again, that this is a deck that would really love some ET generation. The cards in here are not cheap.
No, they are not.
That being said, this was also listed as a casual deck. I have questions as to what kind of casual environment I'd want to be running infinite song recursion on.
That's probably fair.
But we certainly don't want to pump the gas any harder on this list than it is right now for the environment in which it was designed.
I think the only other real comment I had here is I'd probably like to see another I'm the Friend You Need, since the end goal of this is to mill. Probably trading a spectacle for it, just to have an extra one around.
Yep. I think that's a very valid choice.
But as usual, this tends to come down to your individual playstyle, and if you feel that it's better to run it this way than that way, and you have better luck with it, then by all means. But, yeah.
To the question of expensiveness, and I suppose this is a comment that would potentially make the deck more competitive, would you consider that Apple Bloom, I can't remember the name of it, the exhaust and the discard a card. But yeah, that's the one. As a way to potentially make stuff a little bit cheaper, and you don't really care about the discards.
Well, oddly enough, that also helps the entry situation out a little bit here, so that might be worth considering.
But then not everything is even.
That's a good point.
If you want 100% guarantee you're getting 5 cards back, I would say no, but since
I don't think just having 3 matters.
Yeah, no, it's completely fine. I think that's a great addition, Cursed Chords. I think running Apple Bloom would give you a lot of synergies and allow you to get into some of your orange cards much earlier on. Now, that still doesn't solve the issue of also needing to get into your white, but, tackle one obstacle at a time. It could make running Trading Traditions a more attractive choice than running Infiltrating.
Yes.
And, like you say, saving that AT, pretty good. Plus, there's nothing worse than having Orchard Blossoms in hand, getting ready to play them, and then drawing the exact card that you want to mill or reanimate.
Aha.
On that note, if you're also looking for ways to get things into discard piles, and you don't mind breaking away from the odd, even power distribution a little bit, Bailout would also be a great choice in here. Playable with just 2 rec, and helps you discard something from your hand.
And slows the opponent down.
Mm-hmm. This does not have a lot of immediate ways to disrupt the opponent. In fact, it has almost no immediate ways. The only thing I see here is a Limestone, and I guess a Sweetie Belle.
Although, to be fair, if you're going to pick 2 things that are slower like that, Sweetie Belle's pretty far up there.
That's fair. Just a couple things to think about, though. Capper does not require 100% even power. I'm usually very comfortable sitting around 32 to 33 even cards. Generally guarantees at least 3 out of the 5 cards that you're going to be flipping are going to be even power. And since your songs automatically recur themselves infinitely between Heartstrong as Horses and the Spectacle, if you've got Spike in play, that recursion from Capper is even less of an issue.
Okay. With that, I believe it is time to talk about our duel for this week. So,
I don't even know what decks you guys were playing in the duel.
Oh, so this is brand new.
Well, that's good, because you're not supposed to be able to, know what these are ahead of time. I wasn't even paying that much attention to it, and I was administrating the thing. Shall we take a look at them?
If we must.
If we must, he says. But I insist we must. I don't know.
Then we shall.
I've been on a Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory kick recently. Anyway. So let's take a look at Cursed's deck first, as the challenger. So, Cursed, tell us about your deck.
Well, the first thing you'll notice is that the deck is so very much a Harmony deck. It is like so Harmony.
I see an Arqueen.
Yeah. Is that it? Yeah, that's the only Harmony card.
Yeah.
That is the only Harmony card. Indeed.
Technically Harmony.
Yeah. Aside from I think the version that I'm running in Echo has like a Sea Breezes flower added in, possibly. But in any event, the deck is basically, I'm in like a spot right now where new set coming out, or at least coming out soonish. So I'm just looking at random ultra rares and thinking, can I build a deck around that? And so this deck was like that, but for Festival Caterer, essentially, just doing wacky stuff with power counters.
Well, it's got an Arc Queen, so it gets my stamp of approval.
Yeah, Chrysalis is there. The most flashy thing you can do is obviously her and Midnight combo that everyone knows about. Plaid Stripes is in the deck too, but we've got no way to frighten her other than Luna herself. And if Luna's on the field, we're going to be copying Luna, obviously. So more of just there. The Granny Smith is a trick that I borrowed from my friend in England. Granny Smith and Highly Motivated, or any number of power counter things you can do. Very annoying for the opponent. Besides that, yeah, it's relatively straightforward orange-white power counters.
Although I will say that orange-white has been a color combination that we have not seen a lot of, despite the previous deck being white-orange, but shh. And there's a couple of cards in here that I've always thought were really good, but I've never actually seen anyone use them, like Jamal, for example. Like, have you read the text on that card? That's really good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think it sometimes it takes playing it against an aggro opponent and just realizing, oh, well, that problem is just not going to get confronted this turn. That's nice to know.
Yeah, just look at this. That's just like, wow. And it doesn't...
What was that card back in Premiere that everyone ran? That like you could exhaust to exhaust a friend?
Oh, I know the one you're thinking of.
It was in so many decks back then. Well, that's what that reminds me of, but like a good version of it.
This is a way better version of it.
It is a way better version of it.
I noticed the usual... Oh, yeah, we got the redeeming qualities there to bring Luna back and just...
That is the only way we can actually get Luna. I suppose if we do like really tricky stuff with motivational speech, we could do it, but...
You could hardcast her, yes.
Now, the question that I would want to ask about this later, if we were focusing on this, is you've got such a focus on power counters here, and making your friends just huge. Why no Appaloosas?
Why no Appaloosas?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. It probably should be in there. I don't know if I have any really good arguments against it.
48
like pink is a thing, but yeah.
Is there anything you can do against Granny Smith other than steal it first?
So you can remove her abilities and then get rid of her.
You can also banish their discard pile.
Yeah, first.
There are a few things, but they're pretty few and far between.
Yeah.
All right, well. Any closing comments? Nope. Okay. Well, let's take a look at Grandpa's deck then. That's a color I haven't seen a lot of. Why don't you tell us about this?
Well, much like Cursed's deck, this is very clearly a Harmony deck, in that it is running, 3 cards that are not core legal.
I mean...
What's the third?
The main.
The main?
No, what's the third?
2 F-stops.
Oh, you're just counting cards in total.
Yes, total cards out of the 56.
Huh.
Okay.
I think the newer sets have some good cards in them or something.
Something like that. So, Bubbly Mare was one of my favorite control mains to play with back in the Premier block. And I wanted to try to take her out for a spin again, in combination with backup vocals and the fact that we've had a number of problems over the most recent sets that are exceptionally easy to confront. Now, Bubbly Mare has the downside of not being able to flip immediately upon confronting. You need to get 5 counters on her before she flips. But she also gets a counter added whenever you confront any problem, regardless of whether or not she's there. That means that just a basic 2 for 2 on turn 1 can get you part of the way closer to getting her flipped over. A number of cheap 1-drop friends help you get the color requirement to play Fluttershy backup vocals and just speed through that process entirely, and also give you fodder for Kratos later. And as another primary strategy of the deck, there's a lot of bounce here. Tough loves, lie lows, big mix-up. And getting things back in the opponent's hand can be, even backup vocals too. Getting things back in the opponent's hand can be nice. Banishing them if you have a bedtime in play is even better.
I mean, in hand helps a lot when you have bubbles, not bubbles, derpy flipped. Like, it's much more impactful than generally like, oh, I have 3 1-cost friends in my hand, I'll just play them.
Yep.
It is
Oh wait,
much more
I can only play
impactful,
one.
but at the same time, sure, I'll take some more on-enters play effects.
Yeah, that is true. We have a lot of on-enters play cards now.
That's the risk to run. Yes, you can definitely control your opponent's tempo even if you don't have a bedtime in play, as long as Derpy is flipped. Apart from that, though, the deck is not built to try to win any face-offs, and it doesn't try to fool itself into thinking that it can. This is a deck that wants to confront a single problem and score somewhere between 2 to 4 points off of confronting it through a combination of Trihorn Bunyips and Kratoses and things like that. And just as a little bit of extra fun in case you really need to bust some troublemakers with Battle Snakes, or drain the opponent's AT with Peewee, or get events back with F-Stop, you can play Find the Music in You and reanimate any of those.
Seems good.
And that's about it.
Well, okay then. Shall we take a look at the match?
Sure.
Yep.
All right, let's go.
Mr. Cursed Chords, it's good to see you again. Well, it's
Great
good
to see you.
It's good to see your hands again.
Yeah.
I approve of
First
Cursed's
time you see
playmat.
my new playmat too, I think, right?
It is. It's a very nice playmat. It's a stylish mat. I see we have similar taste in playmat themes. Sort of.
Wait, hold on.
Wait.
I see a
It's
pen.
true.
It's pen versus
Oh,
mouse.
well, only your
Where
Celestia
did
is on the right.
The
which is unfortunate. I
Celestia
prefer if mine
versus
was
Chrissy mat
on the
come
right.
from?
That is
Or is that a custom mat?
a very good playmat, though. I like it very much.
It's amazing what you can do with just a screen cap.
Right? Inked playmats for the win.
I think that answers
Yeah,
that
it's not
sufficiently.
Yeah,
by
I
ink
think it
playmats.
does.
Anyway, do you have a D20?
Yeah, I do. Let's do it. 18.
9 over here.
All right. I will take first, of course.
See, that's a good sign, especially with that searching high and low there. On the other hand, with Grandpa's not having seen what Cursed's deck is, he's looking at this going, oh boy, we've got some Applejack.
All right. I'm going to mulligan this opening hand.
I believe they have not yet called color, so Grandpa still doesn't know what he's up against.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep this in.
And it's kind of hard to say So
And I
far,
think
those-
you would assume farm, although
Second
farm
hand.
generally doesn't run
Trading
trade
traditions?
intrusions.
It's doable.
Well, actually, yeah. Since this is a Harmony deck, I'd look at this and just
Okay.
be like, okay,
What
wait,
color
this
are you
must
naming
be
for trading traditions.
White.
White. Okay.
And-
AJ White.
now. Grandpa's is sitting there going,
Okay. Turn one.
What is this?
ooh.
Go ahead.
Kind pony to my problem.
Return your
Scores.
main. Oh wait.
No.
Sure, you got it.
Confront.
Unfortunately.
Trigger Bubbly Mare. Pass the turn.
Okay, 280.
Yeah, just on. This is probably fairly safe for Grandpa's here because it's unlikely that if Cursed is running a farming deck, he's going to try to contest that problem. Not that there's a whole lot of point in doing that, but it is
Go
worth
ahead.
it might be
Okay.
worth knocking him off of there just to make confronting
218.
harder.
Draw.
Yeah. I would be concerned about second turn flipping AJ and getting power counters and starting the train rolling, but I really don't know what
Yeah.
Bubbly
Score
can
face.
do about that. So
Yeah, the fact that
Take
he
it away.
kept this hand but
Confront,
didn't play an
trigger
initial
Bubbly Mare.
troublemaker is a really strong suggestion that he's not playing
Gaining 3
farm.
a turn. Pass turn.
yeah.
Still doesn't know quite what he's up against here.
Okay, 2 move AJ.
Sure.
But with the extra tokens, this should now be enough to start face off.
It's gonna be
Temporary.
probably.
And she'll give +2 power to
Who
AJ.
will boast
So
too?
that's fine.
Boost, sorry, not boast.
Let's do it that
I mean, it's rarity. She might be doing some
Dice
of
is
that.
extra, not total.
Got it.
I mean, pretty
Okay,
sure GP loses
Confront.
this face off here.
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
Face off.
I mean, he could flip a stick. Not that he has any of those in his deck.
Nothing before.
Judge!
Nothing from me either.
Flipped a 4 for Singing Barrel.
7.
Stick.
Or Cursed could
Okay.
flip a stick. That
Yeah.
also works. I'm pretty sure he won that face off.
The flip had more power than GP's total.
Then counters with this white dice always.
Okay, new problem is equal or else. Friends with 3 or more power can't be played here.
That's kind of unfortunate.
All right, that's fair. Oh, sorry, I forgot to.
It's a darn shame
No,
that AJ can't move
that
power
was 0
counters or
points
something.
Problem, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so 1 point only. Go ahead.
Okay. 3 AT, up to 5. Draw a card.
Well, that did end up working out fairly well for Cursed there. He's got AJ flip. Grandpa's
And
power
with
counter.
problem. Got some power counters. So this is currently looking fairly good for Cursed. He's got
What
a
is-
few more.
What does GP need to confront his problem?
I believe that is
6 power? Or is it 4?
Let's back up vocals, my bub.
it's
is
4.
4.
Yes. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay. The gloves
Okay,
are off.
That's a thing you can do.
Oh, and it still has the 2 counters on there,
I'm
which will
gonna
remain
say
forever.
1 AT, pass the turn.
What does
do.
backup vocals say exactly, by the way?
When this card enters play, I may choose one, put another friend or resource into its owner's hand, or turn a main character over.
That has implications.
Interesting. Okay, sure. It was my go.
Which
is
part
your
has
go.
implications?
3 AT to 4.
Turning main
The-
characters over?
Cursed asking what the exact text of that card is. Because
And these are
Oh,
postage
yes,
counters, by the way.
because
I think they have postage counters. Yes, they are postage counters.
I'm sure the postage counters matter so much.
You say that, but just wait.
Okay, 3 AT.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
we're
if
gonna
it gets
Xerox
flipped
back
back
over this
down,
and turn Derpy back
yeah.
Yep,
Sure,
That's
sounds fine.
great.
that is one of the dangers of messing around with backup vocals in Harmony. Turns out your friend Fluttershy? It's actually my friend Fluttershy.
There's a lot of Fluttershies on the board right now. I guess there's 2, and then
Anything
the
else?
one in the problem.
There
Sorry,
are
thank you.
4.
Yeah, let's move the counters.
Fine.
Okay, sure.
Score phase.
Mm-hmm.
Take 1. Go ahead.
All right. To 4. Drawing.
Is GP properly? Well, he is using a Premier score slider. Wow.
How many AT do you have remaining? None?
Oh,
One.
well.
1 AT remaining? Would you mind keeping that die a little more on camera? Thank you, sir. Perfect.
Sure.
Cards in hand?
7.
7 cards in hand. Okay.
Having played Grandpa's enough, I know this is him about to do some math on whether or not he's going to get hit with that one perfect counter that will mess up the play he's coming up with.
Possibly. 24. And like he could double confront,
Okay.
but that doesn't seem like a thing he really wants to do.
Let's go 2 to move Fluttershy.
Okay.
1 for a Trihorn Bunyip.
Bunyip.
Oh yeah, backup vocals is only 2 power. Right about that.
Yes, that is correct.
Let's go score phase.
Sure, that's fine.
All right. Confront. 2 triggers. Frightened Bunyip. Counter on Derpy. 2 points. Pass turn.
It takes you to 4 or 5.
4.
Get a little bit of point acceleration out here.
It's like having RTO.
Kind of.
I mean, it's the same point value.
In this particular problem, it is, yes.
When was the last time RTO even saw play?
I don't know. Although I'm not exactly sure that sitting here and watching Grandpa's play version of oh man, I don't even remember what that thing was called anymore.
Which deck?
One of the
Let's go 2 to move Apple check again.
Okay.
blue, pink, white things.
I do
2
not
for
remember.
Derpy.
Another bird.
Okay, sure.
No, it was
Score phase.
really old.
You got it?
Confront transitions.
Yep.
And
Yep.
people else.
Yep.
That looks
This
like
one?
more power counters than AJ to me.
Okay.
Double confront
Flip.
coming in.
I flipped a rarity.
That's kind of unfortunate for Cursed.
I see. I believe I've got it.
One of his-
Right
3
now,
for the-
it's
yeah, you got
not
it.
critical,
That's
No, but knowing
the potential. And I think GP only had 1 resource.
fine.
he has
Or I'm sorry.
2, I
Anxious
believe, but one of
Enemies.
those is an answer or die. Bedtime
Yeah.
That
is
puts you at 5 points.
supremely unhappy
That is correct.
Okay, 5 points it is.
if
Okay.
it stays out. Yeah, Cosmic Bowling, there we go.
Wow, yeah, that was
Family
like
Feud over here.
CG era, wasn't it?
What would you like to
That was
name?
very old, yes. Ooh, Family Feud.
Did you name a card yet? I don't think so.
Nope. Yeah.
What would I like to name? I'm going to call.
Kind Pony. I hate picking the card to name.
Suck badly from. Let us.
No.
I'm going to say tough love, actually.
Okay, well, you got one.
That was a very
Interesting
interesting
call.
call, yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Let's
seem
go
to
through the
land it, though.
hand.
Rarity, friends are always there, backup vocals, cleaning up, and big mix-up.
Sure.
That's
Wow.
actually not an amazing hand for GP.
All right, my turn.
Go ahead.
I mean, it does have another backup
380 up to
vocals,
4,
but I'm
let's
not
draw.
sure that's going to be particularly relevant at this point.
No.
I think it's more important to just focus on confronting, and Derpy will flip naturally when she does.
You have no AT remaining?
I have
Although
idea.
knowing Cursed, he's then going to put his other
He has
other Xerox down and just be like,
go face down
Oh.
again. Which then I think because you remove all the counters to flip it.
yes, completely resets her.
Oh, that's terrible.
I haven't seen a whole.
The design for that cycle of names was just so bad.
A little bit of an earthquake on Cursed Chord's side there.
Earthquake. He's not in California.
Okay, pass the turn.
Sure.
Yeah, bank. Yeah, that wasn't going to be much that he could do in this turn. I don't really know what's going to happen here, because Curse is just going to keep building power and try to double confront. And
Oh, Cursed's like, no, he's just adjusting his mod. No, that's an earthquake. Seems like an earthquake to me.
a Canada quake.
No, that's what happens when Kurdzilla starts getting mad. The chunks of poutine float for
Kurdzilla
miles.
is no more. We will never see her again.
Apologies, I shifted my camera there. I'll keep that further over.
Yeah, this is like
Actually, this is
just
on that
with.
side. That's even better.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Just with AJ, this is already not looking great for Grandpa's, but we'll see what happens here.
I mean, he can still deal with the friends. There is no defense, really, unless he can get out of Granny Smith.
And sorry,
Looks like
Anxious
Curse can
Animals
get out of Granny
is
Smith.
Yes.
Then GP does have the tools to get rid of the friends, but there's still AJ. She's always going to be there and always be scurry.
I'm going to pay 4 for a festival caterer.
Ah, Facilitator. I have never seen her play in a game.
Sure, that's fine.
There's a first for
I
everything.
thought you had no AT banked.
Did I? Oh, we're at 3. My apologies.
Oops.
I
Oh,
think I
well,
just took 4.
I guess she wasn't played then.
No.
Okay, 3. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Couldn't find enough chafing dishes to get AJ.
Okay, let's do it this way instead.
Play Remarkable?
I'm gonna put the counters to.
Oh no.
Well, this
April
is
again.
interesting.
That's really dangerous, moving all of your counters off of AJ
That is
onto a single friend.
Ah, sure. Enters play with that many counters.
4 counters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scarface.
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah. So that's kind of interesting because that gives
Go ahead.
Grandpa's a chance
All right.
to remove enough of those power counters
And
to
you do confirm.
pretty
Okay, so
hard
again, 4.
reset Cursed back to.
4 is great. Yeah.
Go up to 8, draw a card.
I mean, granted, AJ still is boosted, but
He does have a backup
All
over
right.
that he does.
I don't know if I'd ever spend that. Like, it's so easy for AJ to flip.
Well, flipping AJ is not a big priority right now. It's dealing with those friends. Because 2
Yeah.
of those represent at least as much of a threat as just a single huge AJ, just because
Like
now there's 2 of
15
them.
power.
Yes. And AJ, of course, will get involved as she can.
But he also needs to be scoring points. I think it's 4 versus 5 right now.
I believe so.
Just thinking here.
Mhm.
All right, let's go. Rarity over here for 2. F-stop to home for 2.
F stop. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Sure.
Does
sorry, give me a
Cursed
second.
have good removal? Is this going to be a bailout? Because I don't think he has anything else that would have an effect here. No. It's got to be a bailout.
Yep, he does have bailouts.
Actually, no, that's fine.
It's okay.
Spicy.
Okay.
I want you to think I have bailout. I don't know, maybe he
Exhaust,
does.
F-stop.
He probably doesn't
Pay
care.
1, get back
Yeah,
tough love.
he's not going to care if he returns tough love. Oh, unless he can return both friends to hand this turn, but he only has 3 AP left, so I don't think he can.
Three AT.
Yeah, I think that's what that calculation was there.
Let's see here. Tough Love is an immediate, though. So he can use this at some inopportune point during Curse's
Yeah,
turn.
like in a score phase where he can't replay it and gain the counters back immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, pass the turn.
Sure. 4 AT to 5. I want to make sure I'm right about that.
I also need to
Yes,
retire to
Cursed.
home limit.
You did have a token banked.
It's correct. You do.
I'm going to retire Kind Pony.
Being mean to
Okay.
Fluttershy.
She's so kind. And you're so mean.
She was so nice.
Sorry, not Kind Pony. Bunyip.
There we go.
Ooh,
Go away.
getting rid of Bunyip.
Well, to be fair, it's going to cost 4 something for a point, and that's too much.
Oh yeah, you do.
As Grandpa's
Tough Love
points
is-
out, that needs
Tough Love
4
is
rec,
4.
and he needs he needs both of those friends in order to use it.
Yeah. This is the problem with having a main that doesn't flip until turn 20. Wow. Doesn't stay flipped.
About that.
Players seem to be deep in thought here.
Yeah. Now there's a
yeah,
fair amount of sitting here and trying to figure
Are you
out
still there?
what
Just making
the
sure I haven't lost video or audio.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm still there. Should hold my
May
hand a
have
little farther down.
It's okay.
trimmed a couple of pieces out of the
I
video
think I
where
screwed up there.
the
But
stream
anyway.
froze. I don't know. It was being unusually tetchy when we were recording this.
3-2 to petrify a stop.
Ooh, that's no good.
Okay.
Petrified.
is
That's just
petrified.
the no abilities and a bunch of other stuff.
Cannot loses and can't have abilities. Can't contribute his power towards confronting problems or face-offs. And what else? Can't be frightened.
Is a statue that can only be sent.
Can't move, can't be frightened.
Can't move either. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Petrified is kind of mean.
It's. Oh yes, Cursed says you can still exhaust it if something else needs an exhaustion target. Although that's
Like Boyle. I think it's Boyle? No, wait. No, it's Squawk, or whatever his name is.
yeah, that's fair. I suppose there are some places where that could be useful.
I think I'm
But,
actually
I
just going
mean-
to hold there.
I mean, to be perfectly fair though,
surface.
that seems like a really good play. Just f-stop.
You're at
Public
6
enemy
right
number
now?
1 right there.
6 points. Yes.
Okay, he
Think
gets
about
tough
that.
loved here, right?
Mhm.
Right. Well, I don't know if he has another removal in his hand right now. If DP does.
Boyle enters play power counters on the number on your character with the highest or friend with the highest.
Let's see. This card enters play with the number of +1 power counters on equal to the number of +1 power counters on another one of your characters.
One of your characters. Okay, so not even the highest, just any other character. Interesting.
Generally the highest in practice, but yes.
Uh-huh. Okay, let me think about this. Okay, that's fine.
I would think bouncing. No,
Okay, point to
it's
7.
not
Go
of
ahead.
the 7.
Alright, that's game 4, draw a card.
F-stop does ready for what it's worth.
Yes. For all that value.
Such value.
How much resource removal? Sorry, does GP have?
Let's count here.
Let's spend 1 and draw a card.
I think
3 AT
technically
remaining.
5,
Okay.
because I believe you can bounce resources with Fluttertone.
Yes.
Okay.
Not real sure I'd want to do that though.
No.
I will play Tough Love on Boyle.
I wonder if the card he drew changed. If
Back to hand, right?
like
Correct.
it had to, because otherwise you would have just played that in the score phase.
Anything in your discard pile right now?
Oh, is he gonna have to cleaning up
Okay.
for this?
I'm going to play a Cleaning Up.
Yeah.
I'm going to banish my Bunyip, and I'm going to recall Tough Love.
That's pretty spicy.
Ah, I see.
That
Okay.
feels bad.
We'll play Tough Love on Chrissy.
That feels real bad.
I believe. Oh yeah, there it goes.
Yeah, looks like there were some jumps in
Yeah,
Sorry, is there a
data loss
okay, there we
here.
go. Yeah, it was just a video delay.
you can see
Yeah,
the
that's fine.
stream got a little bit choppy.
Okay,
here.
that's all my AT. Pass the turn.
Sure. 4 AT to 7.
Well, did a decent amount of damage there though, didn't he?
It cost him a lot.
Well, it did, but he's not that far behind in points.
It's 4 to 6 or 4 to 7.
Fluttershy's text only targets opposing characters, right? Kind pony, that is.
Correct.
Shoot. Oh well.
He wants to like return his
You're talking. Yeah.
Possibly going after his rarities there.
yeah, rarities back to hand. Yeah, and probably can't double confront here. Is GP's problem 6 for the opponent?
This is 6 for the opponent, yes. And it's also
Okay.
2 bonus, I believe.
Yeah. And then like 7
both
for
two
his
bonus.
own problem?
Yeah, 7 for him, 9 for Grandpa's.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, probably a good idea to get this out of my hand while you know it's there.
Picking up where we left off. Go
Bailout?
ahead, Curse.
Or what?
Just in the process of spending 4.
Oh, right, for the thing.
The thing at the place.
Caterer, yes.
Oh, that. Okay. Which isn't gonna do much. Unless he also wants to move up his main to confront.
And then we'll spend 2 for highly motivated honor.
Okay.
Okay.
She intercepts and
So
gets 3 triggers,
gets
counters, of course.
Yep.
That's another AJ.
Caterer does have the interaction where if you move counters off of AJ,
Yep, that's fine.
it doubles them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you move them 1 by 1, and she turns 1s into 2s.
418, let's draw a card.
Yeah. Now, if AJ could
One
just
ET
move
remaining?
counters on any character, just get infinite power.
Seems like that would be
That'd
slightly
be dumb.
broken. Just a little bit broken? Like,
A little.
really broken?
I don't know if I'd say really. Just a little.
Infinite power. I'm just sitting here going, well, gonna need more belly flops for that.
Alright, so can curse and double confront
What
next
did I
turn.
want to do here?
With 5 AT.
Well, that's what that would do.
If he has the right things in hand, he could do it, yes.
He would need a Granny Smith, a Spoonie. Actually, there's a lot of cards that could do it. Anything with 3 power, basically. Or any 3 for 3. Yeah, and GP already knows he has Xerox in hand, so
Well,
easily. And Festival Caterer is not unique, so
I'm gonna play another backup vocals and put Festival Caterer back in your hand.
Ooh.
yeah.
Sure.
No, I think that had to happen.
Yeah, that did a lot of damage there, too.
Got rid of the resource and back to the
Attached
And
resources dismissed, right?
Correct.
I don't believe that confronts.
Yeah, I don't think that's a 2/2. I think
And then
that's
I will pass the
a 2/4
Yeah.
or a 4/2. I forget
Sure.
which.
14 to 5.
2 plus 4, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he will not be confronting that. On the other hand, there's a lot of backup vocals around.
There are. This is a highly interactive game, actually.
It's not going very quick, but there's a lot of back and forth and struggling to outwit the other player here, yes.
Yeah. Actually, very interesting. I really want to know what's in their hands, though.
Well, they try to do that, actually, but
Sorry about that.
interesting things happened, and I don't think it ended up working out very well. The network latency just ate Grandpa's show of his hand while the other player is looking away.
Do you want to try something here just on an honor system, Cursed?
So you say this, and
One
here
thing
we
that's
go.
difficult in games
Oh,
like this is
wow.
for the commentators to be able to see what's going on in our hands.
That's
How would you feel
amazing.
if we were to each show our hands to the webcam while the other is looking away?
Just now, or
Yeah, just now, and then intermittently throughout the game.
I'm just sitting here laughing.
Okay, we could try it.
Okay. Would you? I'll
Called
go first.
it?
Okay.
Sure.
I don't even know how I
Okay,
did that.
So I will show.
Does the network eat? Oh wow, it does really eat everything.
Yeah.
And I
Note
can't
that-
even pause the video.
Okay, I'm done.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So yeah, the network latency just ate everything.
Wow, and then so Cursed was fine until he goes to do it, and
But,
then
remember, when I do this, there's a bit of a delay. When you hear I'm done, the cards might still be on screen.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
okay, there we go. Oh, so okay, he does have a Oh yeah, of course. He has 2 of those, and I guess the Luna
Are
matters.
you done?
Finished.
Okay, got it.
I don't think the Luna. I suppose he could.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Proceed with your turn. Didn't mean to disrupt your line of thought.
No worries. Mine wasn't going
It's really
anywhere.
expensive though.
Now I have to remember what all those
Oh,
cards were.
Great, it dropped all of mine. Fantastic. Whatever, it's fine.
Cursor would probably prefer to reanimate Luna, but
Does he? Okay, he does have reading qualities, and he has 9 cards in hand right now, I think. Oh yeah, because he keeps getting friends returned to hand.
it tends to do that. Yes. Dropping things.
Sorry, this is.
And I mean, VP
You're
is
actually being very annoying right now.
wow.
I haven't even
You're
flipped
being
my name yet.
annoying.
Well, again.
Yeah.
Until he gets F-stop back, he's kind of running low on fuel. It feels like.
Also, that cuts me deep. I'm being annoying. I thought we were having a nice, friendly game.
Pretty sure that went out the window
Sorry.
as soon as Bubbly Mare hit the field.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, nice friendly game. And like bad murdering your opponent before the game even starts. Just gonna go.
What does friends are always there do? Is that the resource removal? Yeah.
We're at about.
Okay, sorry.
I just watch when the timer gets upwards of about 2 minutes, and
I see. Yeah.
So much thinking.
Okay.
Much thought.
Well, I'm
Such
paying for it. I'm
strategizing.
gonna play Applejack again.
okay.
So he's playing Best Locator again.
Scruffface passes.
All right.
Yep.
End of turn, I have 9 cards in hand.
Okay.
Discard Luna.
Discard Luna.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he didn't have redeeming
ahead.
qualities in hand yet,
Sure.
right?
I do not recall one.
Cracking the case.
Gain 4AT. Your video has also lagged for me here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's draw a card. Oh, it's kind of a fun card.
He needs to get back to scoring
Okay.
points.
Both of them need to get back to scoring points.
Well, so
Well, let's go.
So I don't think Cursed can double confront next turn. 5 AT. It's not gonna be enough. I don't know if you're ever gonna have a great chance to use bailout.
Okay.
Is the problem because
Sorry, this is also a tricky
GP
play.
isn't gonna try to double
I
confront here
think,
or anywhere really.
I think that's fine. We're at 182 right now. Okay. So let's go. Two for Kratos.
Okay,
Alright.
so some point acceleration hitting the field. So that is currently
One
confronting.
to play Pee-wee to the other problem. Do I want to play to the other problem? Let me think of where I actually want to play this. Yeah, we'll play Pee-wee over there. So you'll lose
Why?
your 1AT.
Why open to the other problem? Interesting. Oh, not wanting to present a confront.
I'm currently at
target.
1. Okay.
But isn't Kratos 2 power?
I believe he is, yes.
That's fine.
And he doesn't frighten or dismiss or whatever
let's
himself.
Go to
Or does he exhaust?
score phase.
I don't believe so.
I will confront anxious animals, which will create several triggers.
I see. Well played.
Yes.
Okay.
Counter on bubbly mare.
Yeah.
Create a token. Eat that token. Get another point.
It
Takes
is
me
kind
to
of
how much?
6.
6 points.
it's
6
kind of
points,
unfortunate that
1
he
AT
had to
save,
leave a
pass the
confront
turn.
open here.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't see like he can just move up AJ here and power counters will happen.
Highly likely, yeah.
Now GP does have the one AT open, but I don't think he has any 1 AT immediates, does he?
I believe that's more than... Is that one? Yeah, okay. That's
Give me
kind
a
of
second,
difficult to
thank you.
read.
Yeah, it's a 1.
No, 1 AT immediates? I don't believe he does.
Yeah, so
No, he doesn't.
I would think Curse would just confront, win face off, get 3 power counters, turn him
Well-
into 6 if you need to.
Well, the problem here is Cursed's looking at this and just going, something doesn't smell right
I
here.
think we move 2. Move AJ for 2.
But he's still going for
Okay.
it.
Mage is up there for 2.
But we already know that yellow doesn't have any
And yeah, score
1
phase.
AT immediates
Okay.
that can
Score
stop a
phase.
confront. Like I don't think there are any.
Try to confront
Sounds good.
to the face off.
Let's do it. Flip is battle snakes.
Battle snakes.
Boil over here.
Okay.
Sitting on
That is
9
going
total.
Okay.
heavily
Give me a
in
moment. I'm going to
Cursed's
refresh
favor.
your stream because you have completely dropped for me.
Yeah, but that's gonna be 7 versus 9.
There we go. That's better.
No, isn't it?
Okay. Yep. You've got it by
Versus-
2, I believe.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it is 9. Okay.
And this is where it'd be hilarious to drop a Critter Cavalry. That card that hasn't seen play.
Due diligent triggers to fire.
Oh yes, AJ does have diligent, doesn't she?
Yeah, that's what I was just wondering what you said.
Next problem is
That is a
searching high and low.
lot of
Very nice.
counters.
Sorry, that was a 2 bonus point. Anxious animals as well, right?
Yes, it was.
That's correct.
So what's it cursed at now?
211.
11?
All right.
That's
Yeah.
going to be kind of
Ugh.
rough.
Okay. Let's go up to 6.
Sorry, my apologies. I'm at 9 cards. I'm going to discard another.
Okay, that's fine.
Another winner.
Yeah, I don't really know what GP could have
Both
said
runners.
though.
Drawing a card for turn.
No, this is so it's looking pretty good earlier, but this is now looking
Well, I
Kinda
suppose that
sketchy.
is a card.
it's looking pretty sketchy. It was all the momentum that he managed to eliminate earlier by removing all of those friends with counters on them.
It's right back after a single face off. That's
It
why
is-
I'm not too sure about the about confronting last turn. Or 2 turns or whatever it was ago. I guess last turn, yeah.
Alright, just thinking here.
Yeah, it obviously would have been better to confront and, in the process of doing so, remove the...
Jesus, 3. Okay.
critter and not leave Cursed an avenue for a single face-off. That's always kind of a dangerous proposition, leaving yourself open like that.
Sure. I'm gonna go.
Yeah. But that would have required
2 and
way
black
earlier
face.
to not have played other friends there.
Okay.
That's true. It also would have
2,
been.
and
It
move
needs a weird
Chris.
amount of power.
Yeah. Double crazy.
Bunyips. Bunyips.
And 2 for friends are always there to make critter tokens.
Not bunyips.
So that makes 3 tokens.
Does indeed. Give me a moment
So-
to grab some tokens.
I know they don't combo
That's
together.
fine.
I just want to see some bunyips.
Bunyip.
Bunyip.
I mean, they don't necessarily combo, but they do. Like, you could play them all. So, this is going to be a 3-point turn? Yeah. And,
Alright.
yeah, if Cursor can double confront next
I'll go
turn,
to
he
my
just
score
gets it.
phase.
That sounds fine.
Okay. Let's confront searching high and low. And I will retire
Yeah.
2 critters.
For searching high and low, you don't care if there's a
For
face
3
off.
points total.
Well, AJ still gets power counters off of that.
That is
So-
true, so you care a bit.
This
I mean-
Fluttershy.
I mean,
Sorry, you have
it
a
doesn't
trigger
count
on
for
Derpy as
points
well.
on board.
Oh, yes, I do. Thank you. Put a postage.
This,
Derpy
however,
flips.
Yay, Derpy
that
flip.
is a mandatory trigger.
Let's retire.
And Cursed still has that Xerox in
I'll
hand, by the
retire
way.
here.
Sorry, you're not an excessive home mode anymore.
I'm not. Look at you.
Oh,
doing a better
yeah, it
job
is
of
game on board. I
basic
forgot.
math than I am.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, because that
Alright,
problem's not going
pass
to
the
flip, so it's going to be 2, so you can just move
Nowhere-
all the
nowhere
counters
to
over.
maintain game state.
7 AT to 5 AT to 7. That's
Okay.
correct.
Yeah, this is trivial. Just move AJ's to his
Counters over.
probability. No, he doesn't even need to do that. Just move both of them. He's got the tokens for it.
And
It's-
people
He
have
needs
how
to
many
double
18 left
confront.
now?
No.
Yes, it's literally game on board. Just move
No,
AJ to feud and move one of the rarities to searching high and low. That's it.
Then you
It
would
is literally
fail
game
to,
on board.
You
Like,
would failed to confront if you did that. Neither AJ is enough to confront.
no, you move both.
Okay.
You move
Well,
both AJs?
Yeah.
I think I have to be.
Okay, I guess you could do
first.
that. You can also just move the power
This
counters.
is boil, move.
Eh.
We're gonna
Or boil,
Xerox.
boil, move, Xerox.
We're gonna
Xerox,
Xerox vocals
why?
and flip your Derpy over again.
Sure, that's fine.
Oh,
That's just
Really?
some bad mannering.
really, Kirsten?
Wow.
That's the worst.
That's mean. That's
And
impressively
then
mean.
move HA.
I'm gonna call it overkill. Yeah,
This
it's
goes.
it's
this 6
obscene.
counters.
Yeah, it's obscene overkill. That's fine. Where?
Grandpa's
Come on,
wants to know where his bedtime is.
come on. Wow, it was
They're
nowhere
nowhere.
close. There it is.
That was a ways down.
First bedtime.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the idea. Yeah, I probably should have seen that actually.
Yep. Never saw it. Entire deck didn't work.
That time would have been good.
Yeah, that would have changed things
That
a
was
drawn into my
lot
redeeming
in Grandpa's
qualities there.
favor.
So
Where
Luna would have
is-
been down. I
there
don't think I
she
would have.
I also
I don't
think,
I would've minded Luna quite so much.
Granny Smith was coming up though. That was the real fun
if-
times.
No,
Derpy had
Yeah, that would
not
be-
Derpy. Wow, sorry.
that would be some
if
fun times. That would have been
Petrified
difficult to deal
had
with.
not hit F stop. Could have been annoying.
Yeah, that would have been really annoying. Like if you get that online, that's painful to deal with.
Okay, players. So welcome back.
Thank you.
So I see you didn't get much sleep in that game.
There was no sleep in that game. Nightmares of salt mines kept me awake.
Nightmares of salt mines? Really? I thought you were scared of puppies.
Chrissy's
that's Nightmare
Chrissy's
Moon.
scared of puppies.
Chrissy
No
doesn't-
wait, Chrissy's
Nightmare
not
Moon.
scared. Nightmare Moon is scared of
Does
puppies.
not like
That's right.
puppies.
One of those is scared of puppies. Whatever. No, it was a fun game. I was able to get a little bit of a showing in terms of points, despite not finding like the key card that my deck revolved around. But that's always the risk you take when you play a deck like that. Like when you're playing Pile and you can't find DJ or Pile.
Or when you try to force Novo and you can't
Yeah,
find
but you
Novo.
just draw 5,000 cards because you're playing vinyl.
Right, but I couldn't draw 5,000 cards because I wasn't playing Vinyl because I got greedy and said I wanted to play Muffin Mare. And then I stupidly left a backup vocals on board, and I may have had a Singing Barrel in hand to return it. But, like, who's gonna suspect the Chrissy in response to flip your main back over?
Yeah.
Me, kind of.
You always suspect Chrissy.
I'm usually right, though.
Sorry.
No, in my case, it's because, again, I have a local who enjoys doing something like that, and so it's one of the things that's kind of on my radar, is don't leave stuff out that is good to copy.
That's fair. I just don't play Harmony, and then that fixes that issue.
That's good life advice right there.
Don't play Harmony. Good life advice from Grandpa's 2018. Don't play Harmony.
Ouch. I mean, the fact that both of your decks are essentially core with the exception of like 3 cards. Although I think we will all admit that the 3 cards that were included that are not core legal are probably the backbone of those decks.
I mean, sure. Now, we did have to admit that, it's fair to admit that the reason those decks so closely resembled core is we set a challenge for ourselves at the beginning that we were going to play Harmony, but it needed to be off-meta Harmony. We weren't allowing ourselves to play meta decks.
Because otherwise you'd just whistle up some random combo and... Well, that's...
None of those were meta.
How many suggestions of decks that I was going to play did I run through before you were just like, you know what, maybe I'll just challenge Aracat, Cursed?
Like,
it was
I remember
like
that.
3 or 4, something like that.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
it was something like that.
It was a few.
But I wanted to play the game, so I said, all right, well, give me a couple days. And then it came to me in a dream, and then I forgot it in another dream. And then I remembered, and I built it, and it didn't work. But what can you do? You have a good time regardless. It was a good duel. I appreciate it.
It was great. Appreciate it too. Actually, there's something like kind of on a serious note, but something that I noticed while I was watching the game that is like actually a good skill for people to work on is just that like having your good kind of game face on, right? Like toward the end there, from the objective perspective, us looking at the game, it was pretty clear that I was ahead, right?
Sure.
But like when you're not giving that away as the player who's behind, like it is a lot harder for the other player who's in the middle of it to actually sort of sometimes understand the situation and realize, I'm actually doing really good right now. I know that was something that actually happened to me. It, like, as you say, with that turn, that kind of single face-off turn, I was really thinking like, there's got to be some trick here, and I almost didn't make the obvious play because of that.
Yeah, a lot of CCGs have kind of a bluff mechanic that exists just within their nature, in that you want to try to bait the opponent into making unfavorable plays for them, whether or not you actually have an answer to it. Sometimes that's a good move, sometimes it's not. In this case, it didn't work out well because the consequence of doing that and not having an answer was pretty terrible.
See, I go the other way with this one, and I sit here playing pink and just grin at my opponent.
You bluff in the opposite direction.
Yeah, because it's like, well, might have a belly flop, might not. I don't know. Find out.
Why don't you play a friend? Why don't
Go
you
ahead.
move a friend up there?
Yeah, play a friend. You want to move a friend?
Oh, you're confronting? Okay, in response, I do nothing.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
That's the best.
In response,
In
pass
response.
priority.
In response, I cry.
How many action tokens did you pay for that?
For crying,
Yeah.
I think that's free.
It's it costs 6 for your opponent. Presuming that there was a party card instead of something else.
There you go. There you go. It costs your opponent.
Cost your opponent.
I pay 6 tears. Please cry for me. Yes, good. Cry for me. It was a good duel, though, and it was fun experimenting with that. I will always have a soft spot in my heart for Bubbly Mare, despite the fact that her flip condition is just absolutely terrible, because she was one of the first things that I played somewhat competitively at BabsCon year 2.
You somewhat terrible. Her flip condition is downright acceptable compared to, I don't know,
Spike.
Loving Ruler.
I mean, sure, that too.
Hey, opponent, please flip my main for me. No?
No?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. It was a good time, though, to experiment and see that there's still room to explore in Harmony. You know, it's a large card pool, there's a lot of stuff that you can do. It doesn't necessarily mean everything you come up with is going to be a tier 1 deck, but sometimes games are more interesting when you drop the power just a little bit.
Well,
just a bit.
I think by definition, because otherwise we're talking about, like, turbo combo or... I don't even know, like...
Toolbox control or farming.
Yeah, toolbox or straight farming, basically.
Whatever Bugle's been cooking up, because he's always cooking something up.
Bugle doesn't play Harmony. Anymore,
but you tell me he wasn't cooking something up. He's always cooking something.
He's cooking something up.
He's cooking up something special for you. You're just gonna have to wait and see what it is.
No, I have clearly tried to seize the combo reins just about as hard as I can. Anyway, it was a good duel. We appreciate your support as always, Cursed Chords. Our stream is always open to you if you'd ever like to come by and challenge one of us. It's always a good time.
We'll see. Maybe get some new cards, and then we'll see what I can make of them.
We're doing our best. Give us time. We'll get them out there. Anyway, I think that will about wrap up our stream for today. We would like to give a big shout out to all of our patrons, including Cursed Courts on Patreon. Thank you so much for your regular support. And if you are not currently a patron, but you enjoy what we do, like these streams where we get to highlight your own creations, please consider donating, because doing so will give you some awesome rewards, like the ability to vote on polls to determine if Twilight was better before she had wings, a chance to share your own deck creations to be reviewed live.
If Twilight
I
was
believe,
before she had wings.
I believe it says... Yes, what exactly does it say? If Twilight was before she got wings. Twilight was after she got wings.
Yes.
I may have accidentally a word.
Oops. It'll also give you the ability to challenge us in games like this. If you do have comments or questions or typos that you'd like to correct on Ara's behalf from our patron polls.
Yeah, see, except I can't fix that now.
Or you're just interested in hearing about what we're working on for the future, like getting Ara to use spell check.
Everything is spelled properly.
Grammar check, then. There are many ways you can stay in contact. You can yell at us. If you yell loud enough, one of us will probably hear you. We also have Patreon, as we mentioned previously. We have a Facebook page, facebook.com/commentaryismagic. We're on Twitter at CIM_CCG. You can email us at commentaryismagicteam@gmail.com. Patrons at or above the $5 per month level also get access to our Slack channel, where you can chat with us live any day, anytime, including with other patrons.
I was awake at like 6 a.m. Pacific.
That's just standard for you at this point.
No, I mean, I was
went
still
to
awake.
sleep at 6.
You guys are all crazy.
Yeah, basically.
If you're looking to watch any of our previous videos, including recorded games like this one or other tournament recordings, you can find them on our YouTube channel, linked in the sidebar. Please make sure to subscribe so we can have a channel URL that makes some amount of sense.
Methinks you've been binging on YouTube.
What, subscribe?
Yes.
That's boylet. No. With all that said, Thank you to each and every one of our viewers, both here now and watching this recording later. We are, as always, Commentary is Magic. I am, as always, Grandpaws. Bugle is elsewhere.
Big Cheese.
Arcat, and take us away.
Occasionally, Cursed Chords.
You're always
Will-
cursing chords.
You are always Cursed Chords. We'll see you all very soon. Watch for stream announcement in the next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.